understand you learn on TikTok as well. So I don't know. I don't
Well,
use TikTok. My
we
son was
don't
telling
use
me the other
TikTok.
time
It was our 18-year-old that said that they were learning interview, how to
how
answer
to answer interview questions on TikTok.
So if you're a TikToker,
Yeah.
maybe you can
go and
learn
check on TikTok as well. Hi, I'm Femi.
I am Eni, and this is
Meet
Meet
the
the Obasons. Welcome to our channel. We want to say thank you to everybody who has been watching, who have subscribed. Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We say thank you so much. We are grateful.
And for those of you who have been watching without subscribing, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please go to the subscribe button and subscribe. On this channel, we provide content that help families navigate through issues in marriage, finance, faith, parenting, career change.
Yeah, and we do that by sharing our own experiences
and other people's experiences as well.
And we hope people can learn from that and make good use of the information.
Yeah.
Last video, we started a series we called Living in the UK series, and we started talking about changing your career in the UK. In this video, we'll be talking about the practical things that you can do when you want to change your career. Watch the last video if you missed it. I'm sure you will get a lot of tips. We shared tips that you should consider, things that you should consider when you're changing your career. And in this video, we'll be talking about the practical things that you can do when you want to switch careers.
The truth is, there's actually nothing wrong in doing whatever is available to earn and put food on your table. There's nothing wrong in that. What we are saying is, don't get stuck in that without having a plan.
Yeah.
So have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan if you want to change your career, and don't get stuck. So because there's some careers that you get into, you can get stuck in there, and there's no career progression, so to say.
Yeah. You can be an HCA, but you cannot progress to become a nurse if you don't do something about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you need to earn the qualification to move from HCA to nursing. There's nothing wrong in starting at any level. But what is not right is for you to get stuck there without actually having a plan for the next phase.
Yeah, so we'll first start by sharing how we prepared. This time we'll kind of delve deeper into that to like show you like our process, how we went from point A to point B. So on my own, like I said, I was in accounting and then I went into dietetics. Personally, I would say I took a career break. It was a very long break because I was trying to find myself. I was trying to think about, what I wanted to do. When I made up my mind that, okay, I wanted to go back to school, in the last video, I shared that I had 2 options. I wanted to do either psychology or nutrition. So one of the things I did was to talk to people around me, people who were in healthcare in the UK, doctors, pharmacists that I knew that were doing well in their career in the UK, just to pick their brains, what they thought about it. And they gave me their advice. They told me what was happening within healthcare industry. I remember somebody, when I told her that I wanted to do psychology, she explained it to me. And just because of what that person said, like with psychology, there's a lot, is quite heavy. And if you cannot separate your emotions from your work, it might be very difficult for you. And knowing myself, I was like, okay, fine.
Emotional being.
Yeah, I just left that one and then faced nutrition. And when I decided I was going to do nutrition, I did a course. I did I think it was a month or 2 months. I can't remember. I just used to go over the weekends.
Yeah.
And it was just £50 just to trial it and see. And when I got there, I spoke with a lecturer there about my plans, the fact that I didn't have a science background, and he gave me advice as well. And those were the things I did before I actually made up my mind to progress into dietetics. I actually progressed with nutrition. Was when I got in there, I was like, okay, I didn't want to just do nutrition. I wanted to do dietetics. So that was my own preparation into changing my path, my career path. And you?
I think for me, it's more of close to the same thing. Like I spoke with someone when I was doing my master's, so I had the opportunity to talk to a couple of my lecturers. One of them ended up being my PhD supervisor. So I had conversation with them around what it takes and all of that, how you progress there, what you need, the qualification you need, and all of that. I know it's beyond having a PhD, to get a job. So you need the practical like teaching experience if you really want to get into academics to start teaching immediately and all of that. So I had that conversation with them, and because of that, I made up my mind I was going to get all the necessary skills that I need to start teaching while doing my PhD. So I started doing my PhD, and from year one or end of year one of my PhD, I started lecturing like part-time in school. So I asked my supervisors to give me like their own modules to teach. I think they told me at the end of year one that, okay, you can start doing it. Okay, start with tutorials, start with this. And because I had background of business, so I was writing case studies. I could write case studies from my experience in business and all of that, which I was using to teach the students. And it kind of went quite well. So they gave me more classes to teach during that period. I mean, with that, I was accumulating experience which will go on my CV. So it was quite easy for me when I finished my PhD. Even before finishing, I was already getting like teaching jobs and all of that to start. So I used my PhD period to start gaining the experiences I need, which will go on my CV.
So if you're thinking of changing careers, there are some practical things that you need to do that would really help you transition from, your old career into your new career. The first thing I would say is be intentional. In the last video, we talked about knowing your why, knowing your skills, identifying your skills and things like that. But you have to be intentional. When you come into the UK, it's understandable you want to have something doing. You want to earn money. You want to sustain yourself. You want to live, which is understandable. Do anything. Take up any opportunities, job opportunities to earn that comes. But you have to also think ahead. What will I be doing when I'm done with whatever it is I'm doing now? Where do I want to get to? And you have to start making plans towards that. And everything you do has to be intentional towards that, towards your goal. Well, I'll use myself as an example here. One of the things I'm doing now is volunteering. I'm volunteering with an organization. They're also into dietetics, but there I get experience that I can put on my CV. I'm not earning from it, but I get the opportunities to do some things that are related to dietetics that I can put on my CV. So yeah, volunteering is a big deal. Freelancing, if you have skills that you can use in your new profession, instead of waiting until you have a job, freelance. Like Femi said, he was teaching for free. There were times that they paid you. There were times that they didn't pay him. But he just did it to gain the experience. A lot of us, we are looking at, since they are not paying me, I won't do it. But it's not the money. It's more of, we are building the experience. UK is very big on experience.
Very, very.
Very big on. It doesn't matter whether you did a volunteering work, whether it's freelancing, it doesn't matter. As long as you have the experience. That is what matters. So be very intentional about gaining experience. So take up volunteering, search for volunteering jobs that relate to the area you want to go to. Do freelancing if you have the skills that you need to build your experience as well. My other tip would be talk to people. Like I said, I talked to a lot of people as I was trying to make up my mind and know exactly what to do. Talk to people who have gone ahead of you, people who are already in that profession. Make connections.
Network.
Be intentional about all of these things. Ask questions. Talk to people who have been there, who are doing what you need, what you want to do.
The next tip is actually something related to what we've talked about before, like in terms of researching. So this time when you're researching into a job, there are two ways to look at it. You can look at the top page, and you can look at the highest in demand. So there are two different. It doesn't necessarily mean that the one in demand will be the top paid. So it depends on what you want. Don't forget what we talked about previously as well. Know your why. So why you actually want it. So if you want the highest paid, you can research about the highest paid jobs in the UK, and you begin to see how you can fit into that. Do you have the skills? What kind of skills do you need to learn? How can you build your skills to be able to get into the highest paid? And if you want to focus on the highest in demand as well, so look at those highest in demand job in the UK. What are the skills that you need, and how can you earn those skills? And you look at yourself as well. Which one is going to be easier for you if you know your personality and all of that. Take all of that into consideration. Research, and that leads me into the next tip, which is going into recruitment sites, website,
yeah.
like the Indeed, Total Jobs,
Prospect,
CV Library. So go there and check for the job that you plan to do.
Yeah.
So that's like the job you are interested in the next 2 years, in the next 5 years. Go in there as if you are ready right now,
yeah,
and check the qualification, the skills that is required.
Apart from the qualifications, the part that you need is the person specification. That's where you will get like the list of, the skills required for that particular role.
Absolutely. Another very important tip is transferable skill.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
very vital. So it's not about what the qualification that you are going to earn. So many times you're coming from another background and you've earned some qualifications there. You've had some experiences in that field. Nothing says you can't transfer some of those skills into the new job.
Yeah.
One of the skills I identified was my industry skill. So I could write case studies based on my experience. Even the experience I had in banking, I've written some case studies that I've used to teach students on that. So without necessarily thinking, oh, that was banking and this is academics, how do they relate? They relate. Your objective is your ability to identify those skills that you can transfer and bring to table in the next career.
Anything you want to learn on this earth, under this sun, is on YouTube. So I'm sure if you go to YouTube, you will learn Word, you will learn Excel, you will learn PowerPoint, you will learn Canva, you will learn anything. At least having a basic knowledge of these things. If you don't have the money, for example, but you have the connection, you have Wi-Fi connection, go on YouTube, go and learn those things. Those soft skills are very, very important as well. Don't look at it that, oh, I don't have the skills and then I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Soft skills are very, very, very important.
I understand you learn on TikTok as well. So I don't know. I don't
Well,
use TikTok. My
we
son was
don't
telling
use
me the other
TikTok.
time.
It was our 18-year-old that said that they were learning interview, how to answer interview questions
on TikTok.
So if you're a TikToker,
Yeah.
maybe you can
go and check on TikTok as well.
But yeah, just there's a variety of platforms that you can learn from. Udemy, Skillshare. Once you identify the skills you have, you can hone your skills, make them better, or even the new skills as well. Look for ways to improve or build those skills.
Yeah.
And a final tip is, if you can afford it, you can take a career break. Or if you know that this is something that you want to do, you can be, again, intentional about saving towards that career break, whatever it is that is going to sustain you during that period. So another thing I would say, if you are taking a career break, is don't just say, oh, I'm on break and then I'm not doing anything. Career breaks are very okay on your CV. That's one thing I have learned in the UK, because I used to stress about that because I didn't work for a while. I wasn't working and I was really, really scared. But when I talked to like the career people in my school, they were like, there's really no big deal about career breaks. Everybody understands that sometimes you have to take a break. The only thing they need to know is, what did you do during the break? How did you improve yourself during the break? So if you are taking a career break, don't look at it as a time for, oh, I'm on holiday. Look at it that, okay, during this time, what can I still do? So even if it is a short course, an online course that you can do during that time, do it. Okay, don't just sit down and say, I'm on break, I'm not doing anything. So still add value to yourself even while on break. Even if it's at that time you want to do your volunteering, to test things out, do it. Just don't leave that space blank.
And you have to be patient with yourself.
Very true.
Yeah, you have to be very patient with yourself. It can take some people 6 months. It can take some people 1 year. For us, I think it's taken us about 4 years to get to where we are right now. It's a journey. We were intentional about it years ago.
Yeah.
And we took the steps. And other people may not understand your journey. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's your journey.
Yeah.
So just own it.
True.
Like, this is my journey. This is my path. People don't necessarily need to understand. They don't necessarily need to agree with you. But you have to be patient with yourself.
Yeah. So please, we want to just encourage you to keep watching and share in the comments section what you have been through, if you have changed your careers or you are in the process of changing your careers. Thank you so much for watching. We really, really appreciate it. And We just want to say thank you
you.
again for the likes, thank you for subscribing.
Yeah.
And we said before, we are on our journey to
500
500 subscribers. So share
Please
this
share.
video.
Don't just
subscribe.
watch and enjoy.
Nah. And we hope you enjoyed this video. But let's keep this conversation going. Let's know what is happening with everybody else as well. And on that note, we want to say
Bye. So the third tip. The third tip.
on that note, we want to say
Bye.
bye.